How are you?
I'm very, very well. This is an introduction. This is MD Poole, who's an author of, I think, about 15 books, if my calculations right. Is that
Yes,
correct?
it's amazing. Yes.
15 books. And I had the pleasure of reading the last one, which was Bergdorf Goodman, which is not easy to say, but it was an excellent read, a fun read, very, very entertaining. So
Thank
I'd like to speak to MD, as we'll call her, and just talk about her and her experience here on the Riviera. Good morning, MD.
you. Good morning. We have a beautiful day here on the Riviera.
Well, we don't tell people like that in case they're having a bad day somewhere
Oh,
else.
okay. Well,
We're having the usual Riviera usual Riviera day, I guess. Every day's
yes,
a good day down here.
it's true.
We'd,
Even with rain, it's a good day.
yeah, even with rain, it's a good day, but we'd rather have no rain.
Yeah.
Well, it brings to the first question is, what brought you to the Riviera in the first place?
Well, I'm from New York, normal American. I spoke English only. In school, I had taken Latin, but Americans aren't dual language people. And I wanted to learn another language. I searched around. My mother, when I was small, told me that French was too difficult to learn. So, of course, that was my first choice. And I did reconnaissance through France and landed here in Nice to learn French. Yeah.
And
I thought I could learn French in a few months, but it seems to have taken me 12 years and I'm still in process. So.
Oh, I know where you're coming from. I'm exactly the same. And the more you know, the more you know you don't know.
Absolutely.
But
Luckily, go ahead.
No, I feel sorry for anybody learning English, because if you start to take it to the other end, English is extremely difficult. So.
Absolutely. Not that French is easy, but English is tough too. Boy.
And all the accents.
Anyway, I have to. Go ahead. My French. Your turn.
Okay. Tell me about the French. You're just going to finish off about French.
Well, I'm lucky because here I have French friends almost exclusively. And they are so kind and so patient with my accent and my vocabulary and grammar. It has really helped me a lot. Yes.
You're very lucky. And that's one of the difficulties of living here for most people who come from overseas, is they tend to mix with what we loosely call the expat crowd.
Yes.
And
yes.
I think you're very fortunate and very clever for doing that.
Well, it's been a pleasure that way. It was the point of coming. Yes.
Yeah, with you 100%. So what do you like about living on the Riviera? What attracts you?
I do miss the New York tall buildings, but other than that, it's like New York. It's a very international city, like Paris also. It's easy to travel from here to other places. I love the sea, even though it's in wintertime, it's a little too cold to swim in for me. And on one side, you have the sea, and a few minutes later, you have the mountains. The people are glorious. Expats and French both. They're just welcoming and wonderful. So yeah, it's a good place to be.
So when did you start writing?
I had my 70th birthday last month. So it was a long title. It was a long time ago. In high school, I was the editor of the literary magazine. So I've been writing a long time. And articles, published lots of poems and exposés, and I've done advertising writing and all these novels. I also have 4 detective mystery books, which I love. So I've just been writing a long time. Yes.
Have you done one that's centered around Nice, especially a crime one?
No, but I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea. I've always thought you need to have a problem and you need to have a character who wants something. And it's perfect for a crime novel. There are a lot of characters here in Nice who could be good in a book. So it's a good idea.
Oh, that's great. All right, tell us about your latest book. I know all about it because I've read it. It was a delight. But tell it how you came to write that.
Well, may I show you a picture of it?
By all means.
So there it is. I'm just delighted with the cover and everything. It's called Bergdorf Goodman. That's a very fancy store in New York City. Rich people go there to buy expensive things and very high quality things. I don't want to put it down. It's a beautiful store. And it was always owned by a man, two men, Mr. Bergdorf and Mr. Goodman. And it is sort of the center of the shopping world in New York City. And I usually start books with just a single idea. This one didn't start with the idea of Bergdorf, but it did start with the idea of a man who worked there at the perfume counter.
A heck of a commission. That's a lot of money.
Yes, very, very, a lot of money. It's true. And I knew a man who worked there in the perfume department. I actually knew 3 different people who worked there, and they were all wonderful in their own peculiar ways. One was from Poland, and another one was from Germany, and the third one was a New Yorker for all his life. And that funny combination struck my fancy. They don't show up in this book exactly, but they were the inspiration for it.
Well, that actually answers my next question, where you get your inspiration from. And it's an idea, then you build in other things. Is that right? Would you say that?
Yes. Usually it's one thing and that it explodes when it comes next to a character in my imagination. My first book was, my first novel was Verna Ware's Long Way Home. And I got that idea when I saw the mark of a bullet hole in the judge's desk of an old courthouse. And somehow that idea stuck with me until a character came along in my imagination, and the two came together.
They gelled. That's fascinating. All your books are at the moment set in America.
Yes.
Yeah, that's curious.
States.
Does it make you homesick?
Actually, when I write about New York, it soothes my homesickness. When I put it in another state, it just tweaks my imagination.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But you write very loving and very great detail about New York. So you obviously really are passionate about that place.
Yes, I have an aunt, very old now, she's 100 years old. And one of my books, in fact, all of the detective books kind of come from her. She told me one day, just in conversation, that she had been walking in the woods in Texas and had seen a folding chair just sitting in the woods all by itself. And she was so curious about it. And then the conversation went off in a different direction. But that folding chair in the woods stuck with me, and it was in Texas. I had to do a lot of research, but there was the beginning of a crime novel, starting with something that somebody told me that caught my imagination, and then a place. You're right, the place is very important to me. And then a character comes and starts talking in my head, and the book starts.
Wow, that's brilliant. No, I'm envy you that talent. It's a wonderful talent.
Yeah,
so what's next? Have you got something on the drawing board at the moment?
Yes, it's about so far I've only got 60 pages or so written. It's about a young lawyer who asks his lover to marry him, and she turns him down. So, and for a good reason, she's very mad at him because she asked for something that he forgot about. And she got so angry, she just left him. But that starts the book. And it's in his voice. We get to know this fellow who's been rejected. And yeah, I think it's going to be a good one.
It sounds good. I'm looking forward to that one. Hope to get a chance to read that one first as well. Yes.
Well, of course.
Okay. So tell us where we can find your books. Have you got any audio books, by the way?
You know, I don't. Heck, I think it would be wonderful.
No, you've got a perfect voice for telling your own stories. No, seriously. So I would really encourage you to do that. So where do we find the books then?
They're on Amazon.fr. And the books are in English, but you can get them in French in France. And of course, they're on Amazon.com. Available both Kindle and regular paperback. So yes.
Wonderful. Well, I'm looking.
What a good idea, audiobooks.
No, you really should do that, because I had one of mine. I had done an audio. Makes a huge difference. Yeah, I didn't do the voiceover because I don't know. It was very monotone. I couldn't get any inflection into it.
Okay.
But a good friend of mine do it, and she did that in Monaco with a sound engineer. So you may want to think about that. So
well, I'll take lessons from you. I think that's a good idea.
Don't take lessons from me. That's actually the wrong direction to go. Well, it's been an absolute delight talking to you. Thank you so much.
I'm honored. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
No, I am honored. Thank you, MD. Thank you so much.
We'll talk again soon.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.